All right, next question is from Jennifer. It says, "Hi there, I'm 51 and I was ignorant about personal finance until this January. I have a pension and $135K in my Roth IRA, and I will work 9-ish more years. Okay. I have 2 teens and very little college savings, if any. I feel dumb, but I don't know what to focus on. I have a new car. I drove the old one past 200K and a mortgage. But like she said before, she's really struggling with what to focus on now that she has kind of woken up to some of these ideas and concepts in personal finance. Can you kind of help guide her or give her some things to think about?"
Well, Jennifer, first of all, welcome to the Money Guy Show. Welcome to the other side of finance. Welcome to taking it seriously that, man, okay, now that I've caught the bug and now I see personal finance for what it is, how can I begin maximizing? You said you're 51, you've got $135,000 in a Roth, you've got a pension, you're going to work for 9 more years. My first question will be, okay, you have defined that I'm going to work for 9 more years. I want to know a little bit more about how did you define that? Like, how did you determine that? Is 60 just sort of some arbitrary number that you grab and say, okay, it's 60 years old, that's when I'm going to retire? It's fine if that's the case, but then you have to take it a step further. And you have to say, okay, if I'm going to retire at 60, what kind of life do I want to live? And I mean, literally, you have to figure out, how much money am I going to spend in retirement? Is it $2,000 a month? Is it $5,000? Is it $10,000 a month? You have to figure out, what will your spending need in retirement be? And once you have that number, then you can begin backing into your sources. Okay, you're going to have a pension. Well, how much of your income does your pension replace? Does it replace 40% of your income? Does it replace 60%? How much is the shortfall between what the pension replaces and then what the need that you have from a living expense standpoint is? Once you know that shortfall, then you got to start doing the math to back into. If my timeline is 9 years and I'm starting at $135,000, how much do I need to save from today until 9 years to get to where I need to be so that I can retire? I think you have to do all of that analytical thought process, kind of going through that to figure out, okay, is 9 more years realistic? And realistically, what numbers do I need to be putting to work? And then I can figure out where to be putting them to work.
Yeah, Jennifer, this is exactly, once again, this is why we've created these tools and resources. The first thing, you've kind of started doing the work. You got to take inventory of what you got. That's why I do like doing the net worth statement. In addition to the net worth statement, this is why I love our tools. It lets you have a dashboard of, taxable assets, tax deferred, tax free, but also, how does this compare to my savings rate, to my income? So you're doing the do the net worth to kind of take inventory of what you have. And then I love that, Bo, what you said, but I would take it a step, and I see even the content team was kind of keying in on it too, is that if you're asking yourself, hey, I'm new to this and I'm trying to figure out, I don't want to leave anything behind, that is why we have the Know Your Number course. Is because, but don't skip the step of knowing what your expenses are and what you'll need in retirement, because why this is important is that you're going to be able to, because you have a pension that's coming your way, you'll be able to figure out what your retirement expenses are, take out what you're going to get from pension, take out what you'll get from Social Security and any other cash flow promises that are coming your way, and you'll figure out what the net amount that you'll require from your investments. And that's when the Know Your Number course is going to let you say, hey, do I need to be saving more? Or maybe I'm right where I need to be on my current savings and my current assets that I've invested. That's why we love creating these type of tools so that you can know if you're ahead of the curve, behind the curve, or right where you need to do. If you follow those steps, I think you'll end up being in a good place and kind of feel like you're in a much more control, and that'll protect you from a lot of the emotional stuff that derails a lot of your peers.
The other thing that I think, and Brian, I'd be curious for you to speak to this, because the very tail end of her question had 2 little nuggets on there. She says, I don't know what to focus on. I have a new car. Great. Love that. And I have a mortgage. And I also have teenagers who might be going to college. And while we love our folks being debt free, is pursuing that goal the top priority you should have? Or is that something that might distract you from your top priority? We love being able to pay for college for our kids and provide help to them, but should that be the top priority goal? I think one of the big things at 51, when she has all these different things she's trying to figure out, is she does have to figure out how to prioritize.
Yeah.
How to figure, okay, what's the most important thing and how do I work towards that thing and not allow myself to get distracted on those other avenues.
And here's a few. Of course, we have the financial order of operations. You can go to moneyguy.com/resources. You can check out Millionaire Mission if you really want to get some insight. But those things will let you kind of know where you are and what to do with your next dollar to prioritize. But then we also did a show recently that was kind of the financial priorities or financial tugs of war. And it's exactly these type of things: save for retirement or pay for kids' college, or and things like that. Because, by the way, your kids, we all love our kids. But based upon your situation, do the homework I laid out and Bo laid out first. And if there's extra, sure, you can start funding the 529s and thinking about that type of stuff. But if you find out that you're not in such a stable place with your retirement, or it's going to require a little bit extra from you, it is back to put that oxygen mask on your face before you help out your children, just like you do on the flight. And the fact that we've got to fund and get you in a good, stable place, because your kids can get student loans. They can get scholarships. Maybe it's more important to fund an ACT or an SAT prep course than it is to immediately assume that you're going to have to go get yourself in a lot of student loan debt. Don't skip out on those steps. That's something, I'll tell you, growing up in a house that didn't know how money worked and didn't know how the systems worked. I got scholarships just because I was blessed that some things lined up, but I didn't take any prep courses for the ACT or SAT. For my oldest daughter, we found out that if we could just get her score up another 3 or 4 points, she'd qualify for all kind of, merit-based scholarships at the institution she was looking at. So we paid a few, I can't remember what the course costs. So don't skip out on those steps too. I think a lot of times those of us who don't have resources, we don't know that these things are out there that can really cut the corner off of big expenses in in your life.
That was good stuff.
Thank you. You know what? I got one more thing. Sorry.
Oh, okay, do it. Go for it.
Save for your kids. Saving for college is great. Educating them on what they should pay for college is even more valuable. Meaning, you can save in a 529, but if you have a conversation with your kid about going to an in-state public school or a community college or a college that's not super far off, you may do a lot more economic value having that conversation and teaching them that lesson instead of saving in a 529 and building up assets to pay to send them somewhere else.